We move on to Syria now, where Kurdish fighters have inflicted another blow on Islamic State group fighters. Yesterday, the capture of Tal Abyad on Syria's border with Turkey was announced. Another town was taken earlier today. We're speaking, of course, about Raqqa province, not very far to the north of Raqqa itself, which is, of course, one of the main towns in the control of the Islamic State organization. For more on the story, I'm joined by Wassim Nasr. Tell us a little bit, first of all, Wassim, about these towns that have been taken. Within the last few hours, we've heard about the taking of a town. Yesterday was the taking of a base. It seems as though these Kurdish forces are getting closer and closer to Raqqa itself.
Yes, and anyways, they advanced really from Kobani towards the east, and then from the regions in the east that they control towards the west, and this is how they took the Tal Abyad border crossing, and then they moved south and they took this base of the Brigade 93, which was held by the jihadis, and today we knew that they took over all the town of Anisa, which is just very close to this base. But yesterday we heard that it was a faction of the Free Syrian Army who took the base on first hand, a faction that was helping the Kurds also, and then the Kurds announced that it was them who took this base. So it's not really clear who took the base or if they took it together. Till this point, we don't know yet. From the jihadi side, the jihadis are talking about a tactical retreat, as they say, and they counter-attacked yesterday night with suicide attacks, and that the fighting is still going on. So at this point, it's not really clear, but what's sure is that the Kurds are advancing in the heartland of the Islamic State and towards Raqqa, but still they are very far from the town itself.
Now, that's as far as the geography of their advance is concerned. How do you explain that the Kurdish fighters have proved such an effective force against the Islamic State group ever since the end of that key battle for Kobani? They seem to have had the upper hand.
On the first hand, we shouldn't forget that they are really helped by the coalition. Airstrikes are on daily basis, on massive daily basis. So airstrikes are making it easier for them to advance. And another point is that they have a real fight. They are fighting for a real cause, which is to create something like a Syrian Kurdistan, as there's an Iraqi Kurdistan. So are the really ideological fighters, and this is why they are having gains on the ground. They have popular support in these regions, which are mostly Kurdish, and they're efficient fighters because of this. Because they have a real cause to fight for, which isn't the case really for the Syrian rebels at this time that we speak. So these two ideological forces, which are the Islamic State fighting for an Islamic Caliphate and the Kurds fighting for another project, a national project in Syria and in Iraq, those are two forces that are changing the borders today, either in Syria and Iraq, because both of them has a project, contradictory projects. One is Islamist and which doesn't recognize ethnicities or racial origins, and another one is really national and really it's communist in Syria. It's a communist project. It's a real life project for them. It's a dream that they are fulfilling since they were oppressed since decades. It's a war going on, and the Kurds think that they are retaking territories that they were deprived from the Syrian regime decades ago. So they have a real ideological fight, and they are really helped by the coalition, and this is why they are gaining ground day by day.